Hello, how you doing today? I was talking to some people around here, and you see all these huge stones? Well, there used to be a dam here, made out of huge granite slab and stuff. It was put here a long, long time ago. You can see the chunks downhill of this huge dam that was hauled in and built here. And what it did is it created a huge pool of water, and this huge pool of water was used to pump into the fields around here. There were several dams through here, rock dams, that caught the water through the early spring and into the early summer and held a huge reservoir of water for growing crops in the driest part of the year. Anyway, those dams have collapsed over the decades and decades that have passed since then. But I understood that these guys would all come together with their horses and chains and stuff and tools, and they would haul in rocks from the old mines and stuff and different things around the area, and they would put these on big old sleds, and 3 or 4 horses pulling those oak sleds or with iron runners on them would drag those rock boats, they call them, down here, and they would dump those freaking rocks in this creek bed. Different areas around here, they built several of these, and they used them for retaining water. And the water, as you can see what's left of this thing, well, some of these are truly monstrous. That tree has grown up underneath that one huge boulder. I mean, they say that they moved them off the hillside too down into it, all by hand, using horses and teams and chains and stuff like that to put these in place. That's an endeavor on the gargantuan scale. I wouldn't call it a pyramid-sized project. These rocks are much smaller than the stones of the pyramid. But if you were to move these rocks into the waterway, you would notice that it would immediately begin to form huge reservoirs and pools. Well, you can see what's left of the dam here after a century or so since it was put in. I hear it goes back into the mid-1800s. But and it was in use all the way up until the 1930s, 1940s, and there's been some real heavy rain since then that knocked some of the stones down, and the smaller stones that were in the middle, which weren't as huge as the bigger stones at around the bases, have washed downstream, and you can see them down there. But they said it was tons of rocks piled here, and you can see that some of these are cut from the mines, such as the cleavage on here. See that square one and stuff? You'll find a lot of those up at the old mine about a few miles from here. And if you can see the very art of moving these rocks, you see those back there, they were part of this wall. Those right there were up here in this area. You can see where they're scattered downstream. And these rocks were all piled up here in this area, and it was a huge, huge dam across here, straight across this area here. And time changes things. If you were to build a wall like that today, you need what? A few dozen guys, 40, 50 horses maybe? Because that's a lot of rocks. Well, over time, I heard they did it with like 4 guys and 10 horses. So that's pretty good. And they used oak sleds with iron runners on it. There was one of them was in a barn over here that burned down a few years back, along with most of the stuff. But the architects of this work were solving problems to improve their life. You can do the same thing. You can build these type of structures in your mind using subliminal mind tools. These subliminal mind tools work the same way that these dams and these constructions of stone work. The water comes down, creates huge pools. With your mind, you're catching your wealth, your health, your prosperity, your creativity, and you're building up huge pools of it using subliminal messaging, using subconscious mind tools, using mind power to create solutions to problems for the long-term benefit in your life, the way this was of a long-term benefit to these farmers in this drought-stricken area. And If you're interested in starting on your road to wealth, your road to happiness, increasing your lifespan of creativity and wonder and amazement, and living a much more abundant, richer life, check out the links below. When you purchase these products, you're going to find your life begin to change. You're going to find yourself living more abundantly, happier, and more joyful. And all the best to you and yours, and I'll see you on the other side. Remember, affirmations, subliminal messaging, using the power of your subconscious mind, which is 80% of your decision making. If you switch a few of those decisions to your benefit to obtain your goals, your life will begin to change. All the best to y'all. See you on the other side.